Chapter 1, Arrival of Europeans in India. Part 4, British Trade in Bengal. Now we can check the history behind British trade in Bengal. In 1600 CE, the East India Company acquired a charter from the ruler of England, Queen Elizabeth I, granting it the sole right to trade with the East without competition from other British traders. But that royal charter could not stop other European powers such as the Portuguese, Dutch, and French. And all those European companies wanted to buy the same things from India, fine qualities of cloth and spices. As competition grew, profit fell, and the European trading companies started building forts and fighting each other. With more business came more conflict with the Indian rulers, and it became difficult for the European traders to keep their business separate from Indian politics. East India Company begins trade in Bengal. The first English factory was set up on the banks of river Googly in Bengal in 1651 CE. As they expanded, the East India Company convenienced merchants and traders to come and settle near the factory. By 1696, the company began building a fort around the Googly settlement. It also bribed Mughal officials into giving company semindari rights over three villages, one of which was Calcutta. It also convenienced the Mughal emperor Aurangzeb to issue a forman, an official order granting the company the right to trade duty free, means tax free. The employees of the company also carried on their private trades and also were expected to pay duty, but they refused, which angered the Nawab of Bengal, Murshid Quli Khan, and led to fierce battles. In 1600 CE, the British established the East India Company. The first ship of this company arrived at the port of Surat in 1608 CE. W. Hawkins, the captain of the ship and the first Englishman to set foot in India, met Emperor Jahangir but did not get permission to trade. It was Sir Thomas Roe who obtained permission to set up a trade center at Surat, and trade had started for the first time in Surat itself, and then the British obtained permission from Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan to trade in Bengal in the year 1651 CE. British trade in Bengal. We can go to textbook. The British first started their trade on the banks of river Googly and established forts in the year 1651 CE. The forts were garrisoned for their protection of the factory and got the permission from the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb to trade without paying taxes against in annual payment. The British first started their trade on the banks of river Googly. Underline in your textbook. The British first started their trade on the banks of river Googly and established forts in the year 1651 CE. The forts were constructed for the protection of their factories, and they got permission from the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb to trade without paying taxes against an annual payment. The Britishers only want to give one time tax, that is annual tax payment. Tax means it's a compulsory contribution to the government. Britishers got permission from Aurangzeb to make trade, then one time tax only they want to give in a year. Most of the time taxes is based on its weight or its size, but Britishers taxes is not based on their purchase, annual payment only they want to give. This time there is no control over their purchasing, how much quantity they want to purchase, that they can do without paying much taxes to the government or to king. Normally tax is based on buying and selling activity, not based on annual payment. How much quantity they buying and selling, on the basis of tax is going to determine. There is one question. Do the merchant from foreign countries seek permission to do such a trade in India in today's time? Yes, many merchants from foreign countries seek permission to do such a trade in India in today's time. They must want to take a trade permission from India. Even import or export want to take permission from the government. Gradually, the British conquered the areas of other European trading company, and over the years they saw a massive expansion of their trading operations in India. Numerous trading ports were established along the east and west coast of India, and considerable English communities developed around the three presidency towns of Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras. They majorly traded in silk, indigo, spices, cotton, tea, and opium. 20 years later, the company spread its presence to the east of India by setting up a factory in Kolkata. During the trade period of trading company, they realized that the entire Indian subcontinent dispersed in the reality under provincial kingdoms. Hence, they started thinking to concentrate all the resources. By the 1750s, the East India Company began interviewing in Indian politics. The company saw the rise of its fortness and its transformation from a trading venture to a ruling enterprises. When one of its military officials, Robert Clive, defeated the forces of the Nawab of Bengal, Siraj ud Dawla, at the Battle of Plassey in the year 1757. In this outline, we can see the expansion of the British rule between 1757 CE to 1857 CE. In first outline, India 1797, we can see some of the places only ruled and their trade activities, especially Benares, Calcutta. We can compare these three outlines. First one, India 1797. Second one, India 1840. Then third one, India 1857. In these three outline, we can see in first one only a few places only carried by Britishers, and in second stage they expanded their trade activities and their ruling. In third outline, we can see a majority of parts of India they taken its ruling and they engaged trade and related activities. In third one, we can see majority of India's places ruled by Britishers. Blue color showing that British rule, and a yellow color showing Indian kings and princely states. In that time, India included 562 states. Out of this, many of the states administration, many of the princely states administration taken by Britishers in 1857. The expansion of the British rule between 1757 CE and 1857 CE. By this time, the East India Company was in a race to earn more and more money. Britishers engaged in more and more trade activity, and they tried to establish their domination all over India. As per the order passed in Bengal, only the company availed the benefit of tax-free trading to avoid other Europeans to trade with Bengal. As per the order passed in Bengal, only the company availed the benefit of a tax-free trading. Then any others going to make a trade, that time they want to give a tax. However, many officers who were engaged in private trade and did not pay the taxes as well. As British East India Company got a relaxation or a tax-free trade from India, along with many other private trading activities also carried by many officers. without paying any taxes. As a result, the income generated from the tax collection in Bengal reduced with in turn was opposed by the Nawab of Bengal. Tax is the main revenue for any government. The British East India Company got a tax-free trade from Bengal. It affected the income of the king. So Nawab opposed the taxation policy and ordered the king to Britishers must want to give taxes. Murshid Quli Khan, this dispute kept on and recurring even during the time of Ali Verdi Khan. After Ali Verdi Khan, his son Siraj ud Dawla took charge. He got involved into a major battle with the Britishers. The income of the kings going to decline because of Britishers making free trade activities. It provoked various Nawabs of Bengal. They questioned the activities of the British, and after it leads to the battle. The first battle is known as Battle of Plassey, that is fought between British East India Company and Siraj ud Dawla in the year 1757. The Britishers want to expand their trade activities all over the India, and they captured many areas from other European countries and along with the Indian kings also through different policies. Gradually, they are going to expand their areas, and they came to India as traders, and at lastly they took the rule of India also.